Junkyard Junkie, back here with another video. Today we're going to be doing a toolbox tour as recommended by my viewers. So when talking about tool chests from Husky, there are two different ones that are pretty similar. You got the 52 inch and the 56 inch, which is this one. With the 56 inch you do get more drawers, as you can see. But with the more drawers, they're more shallow. So if I was going to recommend one, I would have to recommend the 52 inch. I think for the money and just the overall space of what you would need, that's the better deal. Because for the 52 inch, it's $900 versus this one, which is about $1,100. The 52 inch has 15 drawers, while this one has 23 drawers. Okay, but enough comparing that. Now onto my personal toolbox. Also, so one cool feature on both these toolboxes is they have a soft close, so even if you slam it, it'll stop and then softly close. Or if you just slowly close it, you'll feel it grip and then it'll pull itself on in. That's a really handy feature. I really like that. Okay, before we start on the inside, I figured we'd start on the outside. I got my fluid, so starter fluid, brake fluid, silicone paste, and Permatex anti-seize. And this right here, if you ever want to clean your tools, I found this. It's citrus based PB Blaster, and this thing is amazing. Like, it will clean up, like, especially your Milwaukee tools. It'll make them look like they're brand new again, and it has a good smell. Then I got my gloves with a glove dispenser, and then earmuffs, so if I'm using some kind of big tools I can just throw them on. My lights. Okay, so we're going to start with the top. Let's pop that. So at the top I have my Braun light. It's magnetic, so you can actually, on both ends, it comes down. So you can put it to a car hood. It's got good light. Okay, so if we're going left to right, we have some BBs here, but we got N95 masks, battery charging station. It's actually got built-in rail back here, so you can plug stuff up. I got my different sized magnetic trays. I have my snap-on screwdriver I like to use, my 3/8, my impact, Milwaukee impact, Milwaukee drill, 1/2 inch impact over there. Got my Goku. Hiding behind everything was this Tessa tape. I really like Tessa tape a lot for wiring. It's really nice. And then I have another light over there with the chargers for my regular lights, and then my 2 tape measures. Okay, starting with the top left hand drawer. As soon as you open it up, I have paint markers. Sharpie paint markers to write on stuff. Irwin extractor sockets. I got a bigger set down below. As you can see, they're fluted. This is what I used in my catalytic converter video. It's they're really handy. Definitely recommend getting those. Engraver. I engrave my tools, that way if someone steals them, it'd be easy to see which ones are mine. Then you got line-up tools for the clutches. I just kept them. I don't know why. This one's for a Honda. This one's for a Tacoma. I made this. If you ever get a boot stuck on a spark plug, like a cool pack boot stuck, you see here, I cut different little edges into it all the way around. So just the boot, let me actually show you, hold on. Okay, so say you have this, and only this stays down there, so you can't get a hold of the spark plug and to pull it out, because this is in the way, of course. You can stick this in here, and this is the size of the spark plug, and this will cut through this rubber, and then eventually it'll get to the spark plug, pull it out, and then you can turn the engine over and let all the debris fly out, so you don't get no rubber pieces in your engine. Okay, so I have some keys, some attachments for impact driver, got lug nut keys. Have this tool for jumping OBD 2 port. Sometimes you gotta pull a quick code, so it makes it easier by just jumping it from, like, so if you had to jump from this pin to this pin, you could clip here to here, stick it in, and it'd just be easy. Got some more alligator clips on wire because I have those everywhere. They work really well. For testing. That's about it for this drawer. Okay, on to our next drawer. In this one I keep my Allen keys and Torx. I got these from Tecton. These are from Harbor Freight. I love Tecton, but the one major complaint I have, and it's to most people would be small, but it's a big complaint to me, and that is their metric is in red. It always is, doesn't matter if you're getting their wrenches or what. And then their standard is in the other color, so gray, black, blue, whatever. And everybody else uses it backwards. Other than, like, sometimes Harbor Freight does that too, and it just drives me crazy. I have some Scotch-Brite. This for cleaning up surfaces. So say you're doing, I don't know, a valve cover, you need to clean it up, use that on there, and that usually works pretty good. Some AC rings, O-rings, don't know why that's in there. That's it for this drawer. Now on to the third drawer. In this, it's a simple drawer, has my extensions. So you got, you know, 3/8 over here, 1/2 inch impact, 1/2 inch regular, 1/4 inch stuff up here with wobbly sockets, which I'm not a big fan of this style. There's some better wobblies that I need to buy. I just haven't. But if you're using these, you can use tape around it, and that will limit the motion, which will make it easier. Because when it gets like this, and you're trying to, you know, turn it, it's just not working. Have some big sockets in here. Just didn't have room for me anywhere else. Adapters. So got 1/2 inch to 3/8, 3/8 to 1/2 inch, 1/4 to 3/8, 3/8 to 1/4. That can come in handy. And that's about it for this drawer. Also, if you are going to get extensions, which you should, but there's two different kinds. There's wobbly type. So this is a wobble type. If you look here, it's got these little rounded edges. These can be handy. You can put them on there, and it's like a normal one. Pull it off a little bit, and now you can, you know, get a little bit more clearance to where you need to be. So that helps a lot. And then the other thing I recommend is always get ones with knurled grips. That feature right there is always underestimated. When your hands are oily, you can really grab onto that, where if you try to grab the regular, you'll spin. So that's it for this drawer. Okay, so moving on to the middle top drawer. You can get this Ryobi set at Home Depot for like $10 on Black Friday. Comes with all these attachments. I mean, it's got everything you need, square bits, you know, Phillips, flat, Torx, all of that. Great buy. I know people hate Ryobi, but it works, and they work good, especially for the price. I also got this Ryobi drill set for wood. It was cheap, so I picked it up. Don't use it too much. Also got some spade bits for wood. And then I got my little C-clamp. And then a bigger C-clamp. You don't use those much, but sometimes you need them. The coolest tool in this drawer is this one. It's SP Tools. And what it is, it has two things for your impact hammer. You got one here. This is to unstake like your axle nut. So you stick it in there and hit it and pull up, and that will unstake it. And then you got one to actually stake your castle nut. These are actually really hard to find, and they were pretty expensive for what they are, but I really enjoy this tool. So put that in and we're done with this drawer. Okay, moving on to the second drawer. Okay, in this drawer I have, you know, a bunch of snap-on screwdrivers, long, just different sizes. I got magnetic little screwdriver holder to keep them in there, and then you got the small ones and picks, different size, hook, you know, just your basic picks. Then over here you got your specialty screwdrivers, so square bit. I don't know how well you can tell that. And then you got your Torx bits, and over there I have security Torx bits set, and that's about it for this drawer. Okay, now we're moving on to the third drawer down. This is actually starting to get good. In this one I have my wrenches. So on that side I have metric. It goes from 7mm all the way up to 21mm. On this side I got standard. Got 3/8 all the way up to 1 1/4. Also, if you're wondering what rails I use for this, since it is a shallow toolbox, and if you got a shallow toolbox, you may want to invest in these because it makes storing your wrenches a lot easier, because I couldn't store them upright. They're Ernst low profile wrench holder. On to the next one. Okay, so for our final drawer in the middle, this is a really nice drawer. It's got my ratcheting wrenches. So, as you can see there, I got reversible ones in my roll cart. Speaking of which, I do have a roll cart, another tool chest, or not a tool chest, but a workstation. If you're interested in seeing those toolbox tours, let me know. But we have flex head ratcheting wrenches, we have flare wrenches, have my standards over here, my metrics over there, and then these are really cool. So let me, oh, I also have stubby ones too, stubby ratcheting wrenches. But these are something I'd like to show you. This is the Astro 7181XL 8-piece extra long damage fastener flank bite combination wrench set, the metric one. They also make a standard version if you need that. If you look here, it will grab rounded off bolts. It's like the fluted ones, extractor sockets. But this will get into tight spots that a socket won't fit. And they grab really well. I've had to use these a couple times and they're amazing. And then on the open end, they also will bite it. So even more of a clearance problem, and you can still get it. I think these are worth every bit of the money, although they are kind of hard to find. They're good tools, so I don't know why they're not out there more. So that'll do it for this drawer. Okay, so for these drawers on the right, I don't fill them up with too much stuff, so it won't be too long. First drawer, I have precision screwdrivers, a bunch of books on like my smoke machine and just other tools I have, a Schrader valve remover tool, and pens, so if I need to write anything. Next drawer down, we have wiretaps, which are amazing. I have used them in a video. They're really good. They have the part that clips into them and the one that bites down on the wire, and they're relatively inexpensive. You got your butt connectors, more books, like, yeah, there's the smoke machine one. If you need a smoke machine all tool, that one is amazing. I've used that one so much, it's worth every bit of the money. This pull your valve stem through. Neat little tool. Got my knife and more books, so nothing too big in that one. Open this up. I got fuses. I got what is this? Oh, okay, yeah. It's just connectors. It's the like prong connectors and the ones that have a female and male spade connection. J-case fuses. Have more of the ones that bite into it, and then got these off eBay, 100 piece, made in Taiwan. They're so little, it's hard to find that size, but when you're working on speakers, a lot of times you need this size, so I got them. And then on to the final drawer. Final drawer, we have, this is for milling out aluminum. This is aluminum bits. You have extractor set. This is left-hand thread, left-hand thread drill bits, so you may be able to pull it out with just the drill bits alone. Doesn't happen all the time, but when it does, it feels great. And then after you drill into, you know, a broken off bolt, I'll probably make a video of this, breaking a bolt off and then extracting it. You throw the extractor in there and then pull it out slowly. So that's a pretty good one. I also have wire brushes, you know, your copper, your steel and all that. And then I got the small brushes as well, just for cleaning up parts and whatever. I have the DeWalt drill stuff, so just more, you know, stuff for the drills like Torx and Phillips and whatever you can need. And then have the Milwaukee titanium, the Shockwave. These right here are expensive, but on Black Friday I think you can get them for a good deal. But they're actually worth it, especially if you're drilling into steel. These things do amazing. I use cutting fluid on them to try to keep them, you know, as long as they can. It's got the red helix, you can see up there. I've loved them when I've had to use them, because other drill bits will just break or just won't do it. You can put that in an impact driver and it just works so well. And then finally I got Ryobi drill bits. And as you can see, it's got all different sizes. I've lost some or broke some over the years. I just buy another set whenever you need it. They're cheap. And that will do it for the top part of this tool chest. Okay, now going on to the middle drawer. It can withstand a lot of weight, as you're about to see. I'm gonna go ahead and let you know, I went a little crazy. You definitely don't need all this. I don't use half of it all the time. Like, I just got a little OCD. Let's show you. So as you can see, this is all my chrome sockets. I have over here the standard. This is 6-point, deep, shallow, deep, shallow, deep, shallow, deep, shallow. But these are 6-point, 12-point, 6-point, 12-point. Then the 1/4 inch stuff, 6-point and 12-point. And as you can see, I went OCD because you don't need every size, but it just looks better and I have it if I need it. Rather have the tool and not need it than need it and not have it. Okay, so first in the middle, I have the spark plug, magnetic spark plug sockets. These things are amazing. I definitely recommend these over the rubber ones. The rubber O-rings will come out or they'll break, and then it just makes it a pain getting your spark plug out. These have yet to fail me. My main ones I use are in my roll cart, but it's made by OEM Tools, which is a good company. And you know, I got all three of your standard spark plug sizes, and then I actually have the old O-ring sizes too. There's the O-ring in there. You just stick it over the spark plug, the O-ring grabs onto it. They work until they don't. It's about the best way you can put it. Now these are cool. I haven't used these yet, but they're twist-on rails, which I love the idea, because the old ones are spring tension, so eventually they get weak and then you're losing your sockets all the time. With these, you just get your socket, you stick it on there and turn, and it'll lock on there. So as you can see, that's not going anywhere. And then you just spin it backwards and pull it off. So these are really awesome, and another cool feature about them is they come with these, so you can actually you peel off these stickers and you put them anywhere that you want to put them. And they got, you know, Torx, they got just anything, small sizes, big sizes, metric, standard, and you can just peel them off and, you know, put them right down there. And then when you're looking at a glance, you can quickly be like, oh, there's the 3/8, or oh, there's a 10mm. Grab it and go. So haven't used them yet, but I'm gonna go ahead and say I like them. And then I got a gator socket. Like, this is gimmicky as all get out, but I mean, there are times where it could come in handy, but a lot of times you'll use them and these needles will just fall right out. So I don't really recommend buying one, but you know, it is gimmicky, whatever. On this side, same thing, 6-point, 12-point, 6-point, 12-point, 6-point, 12-point. And of course it's all metric. As you can see, they have the, let's zoom you in there, hold on. Just like on the standard, they actually have the marking, so you can go to write what you need. So I need a 21mm, grab it, go. Saves time. I like to stay organized as much as possible. Some mechanics like to be all over the place. My grandpa's like that. And it'd take me 10 minutes to find one wrench that I need. I feel like when you stay organized like this, one, you can keep up with tools so you don't lose any, or nobody steals any. And two, you can be more efficient. You can grab what you need, you can go work on what you do, bring it back, put it back up. Very simple. But that's it for this drawer. Oh wait, no, I do have my breaker bar in this drawer. This is Harbor Freight Comfort Grip. I definitely recommend the Comfort Grip. It's a really good breaker bar. It's very hard to screw up a breaker bar as far as designing it, but Harbor Freight really did good on this, especially for, I think it's $15 on sale, maybe 20, something like that. But it's a really good breaker bar. I definitely recommend it. And that's it for this drawer. Okay, so starting on the bottom half of the tool chest, this is where I keep my ratchets. This is the gear wrench 3/8 and 1/4 inch. Have 1/4 inch from Harbor Freight. I love these. And for people that want to ratchet and they don't know which way they're going, I know this is just a simple little feature, but if you look right here, they put off and on. So if you're putting a bolt on, just do it like that. I know for a lot of seasoned mechanics or anybody that's done it for a while or even a little bit, don't need that, but hey, it's just a nice little feature. Craftsman, regular, 3/8, 3/8. Then we got 3/8 breaker bar, which I bought this for a Chevy HHR. To get to the pulley, it was easier to buy this and get to it than it was anything else. You couldn't get a serpentine belt tool on it or anything else, so that was the easiest way to get to it. Okay, so then we get our extra long 3/8. This by far, if you're going to get one, best bang for your buck, I honestly believe, is probably this ratchet right here. It's extra long so it can get into tight spots. It's got the flex head, and it's not the click style. I actually like that a little bit better. These okay, so if you look at the gear wrench, it has these little grooves, snap into place. You do lose mobility from here to there. That's not too big of a deal. but it doesn't flop around on you, which I like. So you can sit here and just, no matter what you do, it's not really going to change. That's why I do feel like that's superior design compared to the Harbor Freight. Because the Harbor Freight, you can shake it, and as you can see, it comes down. It's not that big of a deal really working on jobs, but every now and then it does matter. To stop that from happening, what you can also do is take the screw out, put Loctite on it, and put it back in there. It'll make it a lot more stiff. So that's a little tip for you. But I still recommend these for the price point and just how good they are. Comfort grip. Then you got your 1/2 inch Craftsman and 1/2 inch Harbor Freight Pittsburgh. Love them both. Both work well. I gotta get the extra long 1/2 inch. Been meaning to get that. I just don't use 1/2 inch all that often. And then right here is a really cool one by Harbor Freight. Other people make it, but it's kind of hard to find other than Harbor Freight. But it's got 2 parts, so if you gotta get in a really weird spot, you know, you can fold it up. Of course, you're really never gonna have to do this, but you know, it's cool to have options both ways. So you could do some crazy stuff like, you know, do like that, get in there, ratchet. Used it one time in a really tough spot, had to have it. And then I have my Autel OBD2. This is the wireless one, and a lot of people dog on them for putting a light there. I think that's a great feature. I don't know what people are complaining about. That's a really awesome feature. Okay, so that's it for this drawer. Okay, so for the next drawer down, have this Pittsburgh pass-through socket set. It's one of those you're not going to need often, but when you do need it, it's very handy, and it's cheap. I got the bigger version of the fluted sockets, the extractor sockets. This one costs a little bit more. The other one usually will do the job, but this does give you a larger range. Then I have an impact driver by Tecton. Any impact driver will do. It's got Phillips and flat. These right here will help you from stripping stuff off. It's really great. I feel like everybody needs one. It doesn't get used all the time, but it is needed. And then this tool, Tight Reach. I've seen a lot of other channels review this, and I feel like they have to be bought off because this is garbage. This is absolute garbage. Wherever this will go, you can find something else to go there too. Like, I don't care what it is. There's always a better option than this. I never use this. I've tried and tried to see if I could just find some way to use it, and there just really isn't. So if you've seen this before and you haven't bought it and you thought about buying it, please don't. Not worth it at all. And then here's my starting set. I love this set. It's by Williams. They're made in the same factory as Snap-on. To me, they have the exact same quality as Snap-on, but they're not as priced as high. They are pretty expensive, but they're not as bad as Snap-on. This thing's been through so much. It's a simple 3/8 set with just shallow. You got your extensions, and a 3/8 drive and wobble. But this set right here, like, it's become so nostalgic for me. I'm about to just like retire it, just because this was the very first tool set I ever bought and I loved it. Okay, so for our next drawer, this is my miscellaneous drawer, my most unorganized drawer. Got a temp gun, seal puller. This I showed in that catalytic converter video. It's an exhaust hanger, so you get up there. This will push it through. And this tool right here is amazing. It's made by Lyle, which is a great company. If you're looking for great tools, Lyle makes a lot of specialty good tools. So that's the thing. Universal brake caliper tool to twist them back in for those back brakes that need to be twisted in. It's got different cutouts or whatever. Some have 4, some have 2 that are closer, 2 that are further away, and it's all through a 3/8 drive. It's not the best, but like if you are a DIYer and you don't want to invest a lot, this little tool will do pretty much everything you need it to do. Then you got this for hood struts that you're worried will come down on you, because you don't want to have a hood come down on you. Hurts a lot. You stick this in there. Okay. Your little razor blade, scrape off old material. You really need a tool like this. The ones with actual razor blades that you can change out are even better. That's just a cheapie. Flywheel turner. This tool's really nice. Compression tester right here, so you can see how much PSI you have in each cylinder. Need to upgrade that one probably. It's old, a little too old. Coolant checker. You can test your coolant. Inline spark plug tester. If you got a vehicle with actual coils that go straight from the distributor to the spark plug, you can put this in here to check to see if it's firing, and if it is, it will send that to the spark plug. So you just plug this in to the coil that goes to the spark plug, and this over the spark plug, and your car will run good, and you can check the spark. So handy tool. It's starting to become more relevant now that everything's got coil packs. Here's a cheap version of a brake caliper compressor. It works great. You turn it by hand. The weak point is this. I actually JB welded it, but it still works. I don't use this one anymore. I use the Lyle. The Lyle is about $15 more, maybe 20, and I definitely recommend that. Let me show you that now, actually. Okay, so this is the Lyle. It will compress brakes really quick and easy. Takes no effort. And it's just a little bit more expensive, and it's way better than using a C-clamp. Okay, I do have speed outs right there. Have this for testing stuff. I'm not gonna lie, it works good, but screwdriver works just as well, so you don't need to invest in this. That's the attachment to get down there, so you could just put it on a pulley you think's grinding, and you can hear the sounds, check for different noises. So it's a good tool. It's just screwdriver will do just as good. Have this for those little annoying clips. Get it in there, pry it out. Works well. I think this is a Lyle. It may not be, actually, I don't know. Got filler gauges. These are the ones with the bend in them. Check your valve lash and stuff. Then we got, this is my main O2 sensor. I got a whole socket set, but this right here, it's got a nice little bend in it, and this is a flex head. This right here, you can get on it, crack it loose, and this works for me all the time. This is my favorite O2 sensor remover tool of any category. It works really well. Finally, we have a oil filter wrench. I definitely recommend getting these, because if you can get on it with this, which you usually can, it will, as you're ratcheting down, it'll grip it, and once it grips it, it'll spin it. It's never failed me. If it can get on it, if you can get in there, unless it's a really tight area or a really weird spot, this thing will remove it. Granted, I do use the pliers more often, but when I do need this, it works amazing. And then finally, this tool right here. I'm not going to tell you what it is. I want to see if y'all can guess it. Leave it in the comments if you know what this tool is used for. It's an older tool. That's the only hint you'll get. Alright, so that's it for this drawer. Okay, so in this drawer, I have, let's see, I have a test light. Everybody needs a test light. This is just an extra one I have laying around. Have this drill attachment, clean up surfaces. I don't know why this is in this drawer. Shouldn't be there. This is to remove, you know, from harnesses, wiring harnesses. You can push them out. They got all these different keys. I would suggest buying a better set than this. These work, but I don't know, they suck. Then we have the Ansel battery checker. This will check your battery to see if it's good. It'll see if your alternator is good, and it will see if your starter is good. All these can pretty much be checked at Advanced Auto for free, or AutoZone, or O'Reilly's, but it's nice just to have this. It was cheap and it works good. And I've always compared it to the other stores, and it's always gave me the same reading they gave me, so now I don't even really go to theirs. I just use mine. This is for TPMSs to activate them. This is a cheap little tool. A lot of times you're going to need a scan tool or a something like the Autel TPMS, like 501 or 506. I think I got the 506, and it works better than this, but this thing will activate them like on a Chevy. You just go up to it, press it, it'll activate it. This is where my scan tool normally goes. Have a cheap little multimeter. As you can see, with these things right here, I mean, you can check your DC volts, your AC volts. So if you need to check your house current, you could check it. It's got ohms, it's got amps. So it does everything you need it to do, and you can find them cheap. I actually got a better one in here. I like this one better. It's Hold Peak. It's got better wires, as you can see. It comes with instructions. But if you look here, this Hold Peak is really cool. It's a nice one, works great. And if you look here, this is a feature I don't really ever see. You don't really need it once you know what you're doing, but it will actually close off which ones you need to use. So like right now, we're on DC volts, so we just need these. But say we go there, now we need these two, and it blocks the other two off, so you can't fry your machine. So I think that's a really cool feature. You can get auto ranging ones, which are nice. I just like this one. And like I said, the leads are better quality than your average cheap leads. So we'll put that back. And then finally, the last thing in this drawer, these are to tap into fuses and stuff. Look there. And that way you can actually use this, which, I'm not gonna lie, it does work-ish. Sometimes it works good, and the zipper just broke off. That's cool. Whatever. It's Chinese, as you can probably tell. All sun. But what you do is this thing, you plug this up to a battery source and then into your fuse. And what you'll do is, if you got a break somewhere in your wire, you can go this way. You just sniff it down and it'll beep, and then once it stops beeping, you know that's where the break is. It doesn't come out often, and I've had some luck with it and some bad luck with it, so I don't know if I recommend it or not. It wasn't much money, so might try and do a review on it later. Show you what I mean. Okay, so that's it for that drawer. And then before we do this final drawer, we're going to go over there to the right and look at those drawers. Okay, so starting on the right, I have my pliers drawer. And as you can tell, I got all sorts of different things: vice grips, regular pliers, slip joints, and cutting dikes, all that. And then you got your adjustables down there. Then you have these, which are really cool. Sometimes you can actually unplug wires with this one. This one's the wider one, but the other ones are smaller. But you can grab, you know, all sorts of stuff with it. It's handy. See, taking this little one, another little trick you can do. I don't know if a lot of people think about it, but if you gotta get a bolt in a really tight spot, you can stick your bolt in there. Now it's hanging by the head, and now you can just kind of sit it into spot and then let go. Thing that comes to mind is a 2001 Maxima. The back bolts for the coil packs are kind of hard to get in there, and if you drop it, then you're fishing around for it. This will put it right there at it, and then you can just spin it down. So far over here is a gas tank. Over there is a gas tank tool. These go on both sides and you can adjust them, and then you spin the top of the gas tank off, so like on an old truck. Some more pliers. Here's one that's actually pretty nice to have. It's not always great, but so this one here is nice to have. It's made by Astro. 9409A is the part number. It's hard to see, but as you can see, it goes around. This is for getting on like hose clamps that are really hard to get to. Look there, as I squeeze it, it closes and locks, so now I can just wiggle it off. It is a really handy tool, and you can let it go and you can adjust the tension on it. I recommend it. It's not always the best tool to use, but it's gotten me out of some sticky situations. And then some pliers to close off hoses, so if you're checking the evap and you need to smoke it and you don't want it to go to a certain part of the evap system, or, you know, there's many different uses for this, but you just put it in there, that way it don't damage the, it's real flat so it doesn't damage the hose. It just pinches it off. And as for these racks, I'll show you real quick. I'm using, I think they're even called plier racks, but since these drawers are so low, I had to actually cut them off, because they actually go boop and then they came up to like there and down, but with a little modification they go in there and they hold them really well. So I enjoy having that organization, because once again you can just find what you need real quick, and that gets you the job done faster. So alright, to the next drawer. Okay, for the second drawer down, we have impact sockets. Now, 1/2 inch metric deep well is, as you can tell, extremely used. This is, all these are Tecton, come in this blow molded case, but it's held up really well. It looks like it goes to 24 from 10. And then you got your shallow impacts, shallow and deep of standard. And then over there on the right I have the 3/8 deep and shallow of standard and metric. Okay, for the third drawer down, I have my Autel Maxxis 906 BT. That's a really great scan tool if you're looking to get a more professional grade scan tool. Then I got my hammers, you know, 3 pound, and just some regular ball peens. This is to clean fuel injectors. It's a little bit ghetto. You put your injectors in there, put your spray in here, and then you use this to actually fire the injectors to shoot the cleaner through it. A lot of times you just buy new injectors, but sometimes you can clean them. And then over there I have another little scan tool adapter or cord. That's for the Autel. I can't think of which one that one's for, but it's the non-Bluetooth one. Okay, to the fourth drawer. So here we have, these are amazing. Axle popper kit by ABN. Definitely recommend this. If you're changing CV axles, this is the tool to get. And then we have Powerbuilt 9-piece deluxe axle nut socket set. Comes with all those. So it goes from 27mm up to 36, which is pretty much all your common ones. Then we have front end service set. So you got everything to pull and pop out ball joints and tie rods and pitman arms, any of that. It's all in this little tool set. It's a cheap one. Over here we have 7-piece oxygen sensor set. Not gonna lie, it doesn't get used that often, or at all pretty much. But you know, you got your oxygen sensor, different tools to get on different ones. Finally, we have the ABN. This is a pneumatic rear axle bearing puller service kit. So this works extremely well. Used it on a Jeep not too long ago. Okay, going down. This is just a drawer pretty much designed for brakes. This is to push in those brakes I was telling you about earlier. This is more of a master kit for it. And this is for your drum brakes. It's a really handy kit and it was pretty cheap. So it's definitely worth having. And on to our final drawer. This is a very deep drawer. This is where I keep my impact guns. This is Ignisaw Rand. Pretty much all my air tools are Ignisaw Rand. 3/8 ratchet, 1/2 inch ratchet, 3/8 stubby. Really like that one. It's made by Ignisaw Rand. It's got a lot of power. Okay, so this is the Posty Lock Model 108. It's a 3-jaw puller with a cage system, so that way it doesn't slip off, which is extremely nice. I've grabbed stuff as small as a race off of a wheel hub after popping the bearing out. And I've also pushed out a CV axle with one just like this. It was just an older one. If you look in my recent videos, you'll see it. So that's a really cool tool. So we'll put that back in there. Then by the same group, Posty Lock Model 104. This one's a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be, but it works. It's great for grabbing them races off of wheel hubs like I was just talking about with the big one, except for this is super light, so, and it's not as big, so you can just tighten it down quicker. It's nice to have. Both of them are really great tools. Then I got a angled die grinder and a air hammer. And that'll do it for that drawer. Okay, so we've come down to the final drawer. So in here we have our Torx, made by ABN. It's got all different kinds. As you can see, it's a great set. We have our triple squares. I just write on everything, that way I can see it better. Because these are all cheap. This is made by Nico. This is for like Volkswagens and weird stuff. You're not going to use that a lot, or at all in most cases. This one I have to put together with zip ties. It's my hex socket set. They're long ones. 32 piece master hex bit socket set, standard and metric, made by ABN. So when I need them, cut it open and use them. Here's a Noid light to check your injection pulse, because you can't check it with pretty much anything else other than these. So simple little thing, nice to have. Not used a whole lot. So, okay, here comes two of my favorite tools. Or not my favorite tools, but tools I really enjoy. Serpentine belt tool, made by Gear Wrench. As you can see there, 3680D. I recommend this over your original. That's what you get in there, and it actually gives you, different stuff right here. So you know what you're doing. But it comes with a little wrench that has one side that's ratcheting, so you can actually turn it while you're working on it. It's got the sockets, the crow's feet, the adapters, so if you need to use something else. Overall, this is the best serpentine belt tool set I've ever bought, and I really enjoy it. I would recommend this tool a lot. Okay, so up next we got a Lyle. So you can see that. 36050 valve keeper remover and installer kit. So you've got your heads off and you want to take out your valves. You know that keepers will go flying. It's hard to keep a hold of them. So this will install them and remove them. If you ever work on anything like that, it's a must-have tool. Okay, next we have long hex metric sockets. So as you can see, so they're just long Allens essentially. This is the metric ones. Next up we have OTC, which is another great brand, a very reputable brand. Their stuff's pretty expensive though, but this is a cylinder leakage test to see if you got any blow by anywhere, see if you are losing, compression anywhere. There's your gauges. Just give air to it and it will supply it into the cylinders via these. Nice little tool to have. Finally, we have this, I think it's a Chinese made Z&A, so there you go. It's a 5-piece blind internal bearing puller set. Haven't had the chance to use it too many times, but it has worked. It's got a little slide hammer. Well, if I can get it to open. As you can see here, it's got that little slide hammer. And what you'll do is you'll take one of these that fits inside of the bearing. So here is what you'd stick inside the bearing. As you can see, it's got these little slits right here. It's got 4 of them. And it also has flats for you to grab it with a wrench. But what you'll do, as you can see, it's closed right now. You tighten it down. After you stick it in the bearing, you tighten it down. And it'll start spreading those. that, so it'll be in there, it'll spread, grab the inside of the bearing, and then you put it on the slide hammer and pop it out. Every time I've used it, it's worked great. It's just I haven't had a whole lot of uses for it. So that's it for this drawer. Okay, so this is it for my toolbox tour. If you enjoyed the video, please give me a like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you. If you have any suggestions on any other video that you may want to see, just leave them in the comments down below and I will try to make a video on it. Thank you.